USA soccer fans and football fans. They're all excited, believe it or not, about later on. The USA ladies take on Nigeria. 5 o'clock Pacific, our time, on Fox. Let me get it right so that I don't screw this up. On Fox, regular Fox, channel 11. Anyway, okay, so look, Bobby Cardenas, Lancaster, California. I'm about to watch a friendly that's taking place right now between Italy and Portugal. Let me refresh on some of the scores from the last couple of days because I haven't posted for a while. The important stuff, obviously, is the Women's World Cup, right? So these were the scores from Monday's games. I mean, Saturday's games. No, Monday's games. I think I told you guys Saturday's games, right? Yeah. Okay, so yesterday's games, Germany beat Thailand 4-0. Norway beat Ivory Coast 3-1, so both Germany and Norway are in. Canada and Netherlands tied 1-1, and China and New Zealand tied 2-2. The Canadian-Netherlands game was probably the most exciting and best to watch. A lot of great action. Let me tell you something. Canada's left back, Chapman, she's my left back defender of the tournament so far. She gets into the offensive zone, tracks back, has speed, and her passes are incredible. Not just her long balls over the top, but her through balls to any of the front six that are in front of her. She's just incredible. You really got to watch her. So in the next game, in the round of 16, watch the Canadian left back. Along with all their back line is great. So of course today we have at 2 p.m. Ecuador versus Japan on Fox Sports 1. At the same time on Fox Sports 2, Switzerland versus Cameroon. And then later on Fox, Nigeria versus USA at 5. And then on Fox Sports 1, Australia versus Sweden, also at 5. See, the last games of the groups always have to be at the same time. And there are two groups playing today, their final games today, which are Group C and Group D. USA is part of Group D. So the two games in Group D have to happen at the same time. They did that years ago in World Cup. Just so that teams don't try to get an advantage if they already know the score of another game and maybe all they have to do is play for a draw. Not knowing that creates better competition. Teams have to go out and try to win the game. Okay, so yesterday, also in Copa America, Bolivia beat Ecuador 3-2. Huge upset. Bolivia haven't won a game in Copa America in I don't know how long. It's a great game. The even better game, though, was the Chile taking on Mexico, which ended up 3-3 draw. It was a good game. Contentious. Some things, penalties, contentious penalties. A lot of contentious offsides, actually, which is what I want to talk about. Today, again, though, Portugal versus Italy. I already told you about Women's World Cup. Argentina versus Uruguay today at 4:20 on beIN Sport. And then later, Paraguay versus Jamaica at Jamaica and Paraguay are first, at 1:50 p.m. on beIN Sports 620. Then the second game is Argentina, Uruguay. Okay, listen, real quick. I don't want to make this too long, but I do have a couple of points I want to talk about with some of these games in both the Women's World Cup and Copa America. And actually, there are two people I'm going to point out. One of them I tend to disagree with a lot. However, in this case, I agree with him. Alexi Lawless. See, I'm truthful. I will say it as it is. Okay, I give kudos where they're deserved. And I take a objection where I need to. So, Alexi Lawless came out yesterday from some of the highlights, and you can go on Fox Sports and get it too, Fox Soccer online. And he said that, yeah, there have been some contentious calls with refereeing in this Women's World Cup. But as anything, it's a growing process. A lot of these referees may not have that much experience going into this cup. They're going to make mistakes. It's human nature. That's why I've kept arguing that on certain occasions we need technological help. Just as we have now goal line technology where this system is using the Hawk system with multiple cameras, and as soon as the ball crosses over the whole line, the whole ball crosses over the whole line, either in the air, on the ground, the referee is wearing a special watch, all of them, and it tells them immediately goal. So there's no question of a goal being scored, having been scored. Well, I argue that technology should also be used in the area for penalties, non-penalties, goals, non-goals, offsides, non-offsides, that actually impact the game at that moment because of a goal. All right? So, Alexi Lawless, I agree with you in the fact that these ladies have to learn and go along, and we're going to have mistakes. And that's just the way it is. And I don't agree with Dr. Matchik that extra eyes, like they do in Champions League and in Europe and South America with an extra referee at both ends, is always going to help. No, it can, but it doesn't mean every call is still going to be made properly because of where you're looking at that particular time. Okay, the other bone I have contention, now this time it's with Ian Joy from beIN Sports. They were discussing this morning, or last night actually afterwards, the Copa America game between Mexico and Chile. And there were some offsides that I believe were not. And the reason being is because they were too close to call. Ian Joy got it wrong and says that the linesmen, and he's still using the term linesmen, and they're no longer linesmen, they're assistant referees. But he said that linesmen are told to give the benefit of the doubt to the defender in case of an offside. Wrong! I don't know where you're getting your info from, but no, we as referees are mandated that when it is too close to call, you don't call offside. You give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player because you don't want to take away a goal. So, Ian, you're wrong. I don't know where you're getting your info from. I do agree with you, though. You made a point where there was an offside call where the assistant referee was about 3 yards, about 2 yards behind the play, so he wasn't in line with the back line of the defense to call one of the Chilean players offside. I absolutely agree on that point. And there were a couple other things, too, where I agree that the call shouldn't have been made because they were too close to call. Referees, on an offside call, if you're not absolutely 100% certain and also in the position to make that call, do not call it. That's it. I got to go. I got games to watch. Later on, the ladies, of course. Excuse me. Oh, that's so good. Say no to racism. And go USA ladies later. You got it. I believe that we can win.